Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, generic YouTuber123. Just fucking around. It's your boy Xeno ZT back at it again with a brand new What If. This What If was suggested by one of you guys, and you can check out the comments and see who suggested it. I will say thank you for the great suggestion, and I want to say what the fuck is going on in the comment section? Bro, go check the comments on the last video. What the hell is going on? I I don't get it. I don't get it. Fuck it, man. Whatever. I want to say thank you for all the support and the views and the likes and the subscribe counts. I want to say thank y'all and I love y'all from the depths of my heart. So let's jump straight into this what if. This what if will be divided into arcs. The first arc, called the organization. Young Deku, born to Inko in Hisashi Midoriya, a normal kid, a happy-go-lucky kid who lived his 4 years, the first 4 years in his life, in bliss. He went to the kindergarten, took lessons, was a good kid and a helpful one. He was best friend with Bakugo until Bakugo started showing signs of having a quirk that even impressed the adults. And he was praised and told that he would be the greatest hero. Deku, on the other hand, was not so fortunate to gain one. He was the belittled kid, the one that everybody laughed at and called quirkless. Even though that happened, Deku never lost hope in developing a quirk. But I want to go on a tangent a little bit. The organization, if you read the manga, you know the Liberation Army, the League of Villains, the Chisaki organization, all of that. This organization in particular was known for kidnapping young children. Let's jump back into it. Deku, one day in the park, was playing all by himself because he was fed up with the bullying from Bakugo and the other kids. He was playing around, and then all he can see is darkness. Deku was kidnapped. And we go to his mother's side, and the cops and the heroes kept on searching for him for days, but nothing came up. After a month of searching, the case on Deku's head dropped. He was never looked at, which left his mother Inko and father devastated. His mother never got back up from that. She was deeply depressed. She gained weight, and she lost all hope for life. On the other hand, we jump into the beginning, the organization. The day of the kidnapping, Deku was 4 years old. He was taken to this facility, this high advanced facility with a couple of kids. Everyone was subjected to a different method for them to gain quirks. Most of the kids there were quirkless, so they were trying to create monsters and create quirks. There were gas chambers for creating quirks from that. There were electric chairs, there were everything, every torture possible. But Deku got it the worst. The the highest the highest percentage for surviving was zero point 0.1. Not even two persons lived through that experiment. It was nanites. The procedure was deadly. Injecting nanites into the spine and waiting a couple of days. The couple of days were like hell. Deku was subjected in those couple of days to the worst pain in life. It's like the hellfire was burning inside his body. His temperature fluctuated, going up and down, not getting sleep, pain in muscles, feeling like they got ripped apart. But in the seventh day of the experiment, Deku felt energetic. The pain stopped, the temperature stabilized, every vital of his looked normal. The nanites were set in his brain and his body. One of the doctors said Heroes are not born, they are created. But we do not create heroes here. Which in Deku left him shocked. And then the doctor said, "Start with the procedure." Deku was subjected into mind control. They wiped his memory clean off. He does not remember who he is. He does not know who he is. He is known as Weapon X. Through the years, from the age of 4 to the age of 8, he was trained in the ways of fighting with arms, with weapons, martial arts, and and stealth tactics. Also, his body inherited so much strength. He can heal from any injury, but the downside was the nanites dying inside of him. If he used too much power, or if he lost an organ, he would lose lots of nanites to rebuild that organ. He has healing capabilities. He had super strength, even rivaling All Might. He had abilities to create weapons from his hand. He was known as Weapon X, the ultimate weapon. Deku's Weapon X favorite way of attacking was creating blades from his hand. He would like to get close and personal. He would toy with his targets for a couple of times, then he stroke them in the deepest place that they feared. He was known as the Black Terror, the weapon of all weapons. The organization groomed him to be the ultimate life form. He was known internationally. So the government started researching him and trying to capture and destroy the organization. One day, just like in the anime, a group of heroes, police, and FBI agents attacked. I don't know if Japan has FBI. If they does, GG. They attacked the organization. Everyone fled except for Weapon X. He was left there by the organization to defend them and give them time to escape. The four heroes that were there were Endeavor, Best Genius, and All Might, and Rocklock, or I don't know who he is. Not Rocklock. Fuck Rocklock. I must say Aizawa Shota. He was Racerhead. Deku went to the shadows and started watching his praise walk without knowing that they're going to get ambushed and destroyed. Deku prepared the weapons on his hand and upped his speed to unmeasurable levels. The first one to strike was the first hero that he would strike was Endeavor. So he went straight to the neck. But All Might was there, and All Might the reaction speed was fast, so he was able to block the attack from Weapon X and push him out of the way of Endeavor. Endeavor shot Heat Blast at Deku, which Deku dodged, and burns on his skin were left, but then his skin started regenerating. Aizawa was up. Aizawa activated his erasure quirk and tried to erase it, but Deku's blade did not retract and nothing happened to his body. Then they noticed that this is not a quirk. This is a genetically modified human being, and this fight will be vicious and hard. We jump 3 hours in the future. Weapon X was defeated. The heroes bloodied from head to toe. Even All Might sustained great injuries. And then All Might went to the knocked out body of Deku, of Weapon X, and looked at it. This kid does not look a day older than 10 years old. What the hell did they do to him? Deku was taken in by the government, After further research from the heroes and the government, he was known, after research, I mean DNA and all that stuff. Deku Deku's true name was Izuku Midoriya. His age is 8 years old. He was imbued with the power of nanites, so his abilities were recognized as one of the greatest powers. So in the in the government hand, Deku was a new weapon to them, but he was an untamed weapon because of the brainwashing. So it took them couple around 3 years to get around to him, showing him the ones that kept in check with him were the heroes that tried to model him to become the best hero. But in his mind, Deku was lacking emotions. He was like a killing machine, a robot. He gets programmed to do something and he will do it. He cannot think for himself. He is a mindless puppet at this time. The one who took to him was Aizawa Shota and All Might. Endeavor Best Genius did not anything to do with that murderous brat. But All Might tried to learn to teach him, but every time All Might tried to get close, Deku attacked which ended up with Deku getting knocked out. After further tries and tries, Deku kept on getting his power, kept on upgrading himself from the inside. So his physical attributes are less than almost just by a bit. But All Might can tap into one for all 140%, you know that bullshit. So he can take him down at this point. Aizawa, on the other hand, took to Deku as a son. He kept with him. He did not try to lay a hand on him. They were the best thing that Aizawa could do with him was show him some camaraderie. Aizawa would spend hours with Deku, not even saying a word to each other. They just looked. And one night, Deku was sitting at the balcony of the room he is staying at. He was watched by heroes, and that day, Aizawa was the one to keep watch on him. They were sitting there for a couple hours, no words spoken. Then Deku said, looking at the stars, pretty. Aizawa looked at Deku with a shocked face. And inside his mind, the monologue started. We can shape him. He's not a lost cause yet. Then the heroes got the idea that they would reunite him with his family. Deku, with dead eyes, not speaking to anyone, went with the heroes. They said that they would try to show him someone and refresh his memories of the past. His mother was called to the house of Deku. Deku was staying there. But his mother, upon seeing his face, tried to run and hug him. Then the defenses on Deku's body flared on themselves, and he summoned weapons from his hand and giving his mother a cold, dead stares. Then Deku's mother broke down crying. What did they do to my sweet boy? What did they do to my Izuku? Then Deku walked to her hand, to her face, to her, retracting his weapons, and he looked at her face, her crying face, and snot running out of her nose. He put his hand on on her face, and wiped the tear, and said, "What is this?" His mother broke down more. The heroes were in awe that this kid does not even know basic emotions. He only felt bloodlust from him. But that bloodlust wasn't an emotion of the true him. Though so, the hero's job was to bring him back to the normal life of a human. That is the struggle of the human weapon, Weapon X. They gave him the chance to call him Izuku Midoriya, but he was known as Weapon X, and he did not want to change that part of his past. Deku's mom kept on visiting him, and Deku, every time he see her, she shows at different emotions. One day, his mother was talking to him about his childhood, which Deku did not understand. Then she showed a smile. She showed a smile and looked at Deku warmly. Deku tried to mimic her and showed this awkward smile on his face, trying to plant a smile on his face, create one. His teeth were out. He looked at her with a wide smile, broken smile, and the same eyes. But upon Deku's mother seeing his eyes, she know that he is mimicking her and not trying. And these are not real emotion because the eyes are the key to the soul. His eyes were dead as ever. We go around 3 years. Deku was at the age of 13. The government tried to use him for infiltration and other stuff, which were very successful. They infiltrated an organization that sex slave organization or kidnapping, a human trafficking organization, which Deku infiltrated successfully and destroyed it from the inside out. But the trail of body was so big that the government could not hide it from the public. They try. The only thing they can do were that blame it on villains, on villain action. So Deku was spared from the public's eyes. On the other hand, Deku showed an IQ high as hell. He was even one of the smartest people because of the nanites in his brain. His brain was in overdrive always, so he knows everything on every subject. The only thing that he has no grasp on were human emotion. He was cold to them. He did not know what they were. So that is his biggest struggle in now, knowing which is good and bad. All Might looked at Deku and said, "Maybe one day you'll be." Then he thought, "That's a crazy idea. This kid with that kind of power, he would destroy us all. But I still have hope for you. You could be one of the greatest heroes." The government thought that he would make one of the greatest hero, even if not the greatest. With his capabilities and fighting abilities that even rivals All Might, he can be a weapon of mass destruction. He can regenerate from anything. He can fight without getting tired. He can summon weapons and create them from his body. And he learned something, was energy absorption. When he absorbs an electrical attack or light based attack from people, his nanites go into overdrive. They get so powered up that he can mimic attacks from other people. He can create wind pressure or flames. That is the power of Deku's nanites. His nanites can adapt and memorize. And once he sees a fighting style from someone, he memorizes it instantly. He's like taskmaster. The only people he cannot defeat in hand-to-hand combat were two styles. The Deadpool style, fuck you. The Deadpool style, I call it that, and the Drunken Fist, because it was so unpredictable that even his nanites could not predict the patterns of attack. You need to fight him unorthodoxly to win. So, next part will be the training from age 13 to 15. I'ma leave this what if right here. If you enjoyed, drop a like. I won't be dropping another part unless you show it much love, and in the comments let me know if you want another part of this sweet what if. This was your boy Xenon ZT, and I'll see you on the next one.